On day 2 of the road to the cross, we are continuing the story to Jesus' betrayal by Judas. Read with me in Matthew 26:45 through 56. Then he returned to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come, and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. "The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him." Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus replied, "Do what you came for, friend." Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached for his sword, drew it out, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him, "for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen this way?" In that hour Jesus said to the crowd, "Am I leading a rebellion that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat in the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest me. But this has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. It's almost unthinkable that someone would betray Jesus in this manner. We don't know exactly what Judas was thinking, but it's evident that he let his own desire for personal gain get in the way of doing what was right. The irony is that this was all in God's plan. Notice Jesus' response when one of his disciples, John tells us in his gospel that it was Peter, retaliated against the guard. Jesus told him in no uncertain terms to back off. There is sin in the world, and God knows it. He doesn't like it, but instead of taking away our free will, he allows us to sin, and then turns around and makes something good of it. When we encounter an injustice, instead of lashing out in anger as Peter did, perhaps we should begin looking for the good that God can do through this evil. Maybe you're thinking, "But I've been through too much. How can anything good ever come out of this tragedy I've been through?" That's a question only God can answer. But is any tragedy worse than what these men were about to do to Jesus? Is any good better than what God would soon make of it? Let's pray. Specifically mention an injustice or sin you see in the world around you. Tell God how much it bothers you to see this evil going on. Ask Him to give you a supernatural peace and the ability to trust Him to bring something good in the end.